Broadcasting live from the Albay Pio News Center, providing you the most exclusive news updates from all over the province. This is 12 o'clock Newsbreak. In the local scene, a new building worth over 590 million pesos will soon rise at the old airport and is expected to help ease the workflow of transactions and give convenience to the clients of the Department of Public Works and Highways, Bicol. Lucy Castañeda, DPWH 5 spokesperson, said the new home of the DPWH regional office is seen to strengthen the agency's commitment to serving the people with excellence. The two-story building is being constructed on a 9,992 square meter lot funded under the General Appropriations Act of 2023 and is expected to be completed by the second quarter of 2024. Castañeda said the construction of the building is being carried out in 5 phases, with phases 1 to 4 already completed and phase 5 still ongoing. DPWH Bicol Regional Director Virgilio Eduarte said that aside from the positive implications of giving quality service to their clients, the new home will help to lessen the volume of traffic in their previous office, which is in Barangay Rawis, Legazpi City. In another story, the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources Bicol was recognized for its successful implementation of the Balik Sigla sa Ilog at Lawa program that aims to rehabilitate the inland bodies of water as well as to provide sustainable fish food supply and livelihood in the community. BFAR spokesperson Rowena Brisha Briones said that BFAR Bicol received 2 prestigious awards for promoting sustainable fishing practices and conserving aquatic resources during the National Training Workshop on Inland Resource Management and Review and Planning Workshop for 2023 at the BFAR National Inland Fisheries Technology Center in Tanay, Rizal early this week. Briones said BFAR Region 5 was awarded first place for its outstanding performance and overall contribution to the successful implementation of the Balik Sigla sa Ilog at Lawa program. BFAR 5 also secured second place in the overall fish production accomplishment of the Balik Sigla program. Briones said the achievement reflects their commitment to increasing fish production through the adoption of innovative techniques and the promotion of responsible fishing practices. In another news, the Department of Agriculture Bicol will convene 250 leaders of farmers' cooperatives and associations, or FCAs, for a summit on December 1 to 3 that will provide a platform for farmers and fishers to build stronger linkages to potential markets. Guerin said that in collaboration with the Agricultural Training Institute and the Department of Trade and Industry Camarines Sur, provincial and municipal agriculturists and commodity coordinators have been invited to the Farm and Fisheries Clustering and Consolidation, or F2C2 Program Summit in Naga City. Guerin said farm clustering and consolidation is a strategy of the DA to level up the agriculture sector. Guerin also said meetings with various government agencies and the private sector are also being done to level up updates, projects, and programs for future interventions and support services for the clustered groups. DA Bicol's record shows there are 25 rice clustered farms, 61 corn and cassava clustered farms, 31 high-value crops clustered, and 11 livestock clustered farms in the region. During the summit, Guerin said training on digital marketing, market matching, investment opportunities, product demand, quality specifications and standards will also be presented by key market players and institutional buyers in the region. Aside from the plenary sessions, 24 farmers, cooperatives, and associations exhibitors invited by the DA will display various agricultural products for sale. The DTI Camarines Sur has invited 11 exhibitors from FCAs, 1 from the Academe, and 29 entrepreneurs for the event. Additional local news. Governor Edsel Grex Lagman's office extended immediate assistance to an abandoned infant discovered in Sogod, Bakakay, Albay. Barangay Captain Daniel Jose Bombales discovered the newborn and promptly notified Governor Lagman's wife, Mrs. Ana Lea Lagman, along with Governor's office staff members Janet Biron and Connie Bon. Dubbed as Baby Sogod, the 3-day-old infant is now under the care of Ziga Hospital. Gov. Lagman expressed disappointment to the child's mother via his official Facebook page, urging her voluntary surrender to avoid potential abandonment and child endangerment charges. The governor appeals to those willing to extend help for the infant by coordinating with MSWDO Bakakay. In the national scene, European Union is providing 300,000 euros or approximately 18 million pesos worth of humanitarian aid to Filipinos affected by massive flooding and landslides due to the above-average rainfall in the Visayas over the past weeks. The European Union delegation in Manila on Thursday said the aid would address the urgent needs of most affected families in some of the hardest-hit districts in the eastern region of Visayas. The assistance will support European Union humanitarian partners already on the ground in delivering vital aid to those in need most. This includes food and livelihood support, as well as access to clean water supplies, sanitation facilities, and education. Since mid-November, many parts of the Visayas experienced the combined effects of a shear line and low-pressure area that resulted in widespread flooding and landslides. Data from the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council showed that 1.1 million people were affected, and a total of 76,312 have been displaced in at least 167 evacuation centers. In another story, a House of Representative official said that the Office of the Speaker's travel expenses for foreign trips amounted to 4.3 million pesos from January to October 2023. During the hearing of the House Committee on Legislative Franchises on Thursday, House Secretary General Reginald Velasco cited the Chamber's financial reports on foreign travel-related expenses to dispute the claims of one of the hosts of Sunshine Media Network Incorporated that Speaker Martin Romualdez has a 1.8 billion pesos travel fund. Velasco, meanwhile, noted that the total travel expenses incurred by all other lawmakers in the House Secretariat for the same period totaled 35.25 million pesos. Committee Chairperson and Parañaque Representative Gus Tambunting stressed that news reporting should be fair and accurate. Tambunting said that while free speech and press freedom are constitutional rights, the allocation of TV and radio frequencies is not a guaranteed right. The representative emphasized that Congress has the authority to grant, amend, suspend, or revoke legislative franchises. He added that Sunshine Media Network Incorporated's franchise requires the broadcast station not to deliberately disseminate false information as stipulated under Section 4 of Republic Act 11422. In another news, Senator Sherwin Gatchalian is seeking to leverage digitalization to promote the culture of reading among learners and their communities. Dr. Dolores Karungi, Chief Librarian of the National Library of the Philippines Reference Division, said that NLP's online public access catalog is already accessible on the National Library of the Philippines website and in other school and public libraries. The online public access catalog also allows users to access digital copies of resources, including electronic resources for children. Karuni said around 1 million pages of materials were already digitized. Gatchalian is eyeing to institutionalize access to this catalog as part of his proposed measure. As of November 2023, there are 1,660 public libraries affiliated with the NLP. There are also 56 provincial libraries, 3 congressional libraries, 3 locally funded projects, 1 regional library found in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao, 116 libraries in cities, 611 in municipalities, and 870 barangay reading centers. Under the proposed National Reading Month Act, the month of November shall be celebrated through the conduct of nationwide reading programs. And in the news outside the country, the UN Climate Conference opens in Dubai on Thursday with nations urged to increase the pace of action on global warming and phase out fossil fuels amid intense scrutiny of oil-rich hosts. The 2-week-long climate negotiations being held this year in the GLECY Gulf City come at a pivotal moment, with emissions still rising and this year likely to be the hottest in human history. Britain's King Charles III, world leaders, activists, and lobbyists are among more than 97,000 people are expected to attend what is being billed as the largest climate gathering of its kind. The UN and hosts of the United Arab Emirates says these talks, known as COP28, will be the most important since Paris in 2015, when nations agreed to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius since the pre-industrial era, and preferably to a safer limit of 1.5 Celsius. Scientists say the world is not on track to achieve these targets, and nations must make faster and deeper cuts to emissions to avert the most disastrous impacts of climate change. On the eve of the summit, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said the conference should aim for a complete phase-out on fossil fuels, a contested proposal supported by many nations and scientists that has dogged nations' negotiations past. A central focus will be a stocktake of the world's limited progress on curbing global warming, which requires an official response at these talks. In another story, global leaders paid tribute to former U.S. Secretary of State Henry Kissinger on Thursday, but there was also a sharp criticism of the man who remained an influential figure decades after his official service as one of the most powerful diplomats in American history. Kissinger, who died Wednesday at 100, drew praise as a skilled defender of U.S. interests. On social media, though, he was widely called a war criminal who left lasting damage throughout the world. Kissinger served 2 presidents, Richard Nixon and Gerald Ford, and dominated foreign policy as the United States withdrew from Vietnam and established ties with China. Many on social media in China mourned his passing. CCTV shared on social media an old segment showing Kissinger's first secret visit to China in 1971, when he broached the possibility of establishing U.S.-China relations and met then Premier Zhou Enlai. Finally, the news outside the country. About 200 South Korean farmers who breed and raise dogs for human consumption held a rally on Thursday near the presidential office in the capital Seoul, demanding the government scrap a plan to ban the controversial centuries-old practice. Dozens of farmers who had tried to drive into the street in front of the presidential office by truck with dogs in cages that they intended to release at the scene were turned away by the police, who inspected the cargo covered with blankets. The ruling party of President Yoon Suk-yeol has introduced a bill to ban the breeding and sale of dogs for consumption and offer financial compensation for those in the industry forced to shutter their business within a 3-year grace period. The time is now to put an end to the controversy around eating dog meat, party members have said, adding there was a broad support from the opposition party which currently controls parliament and from the public. More than 6 million South Korean households now own dogs as pets in a country of about 51 million people. And Yoon and his wife Kim Kyun-hee are owners of 6 dogs, including a retired guide dog and a rescue dog. That's all for the 12 o'clock news break, December 1, 2023. We'll be right back next week for more news updates. Thanks to our 12 o'clock news break writer, Miss Joy Duque. And on the technical side, Richard Bobis. Our Provincial Information Officer, Attorney Marilu Duca Castillo, under the supervision of our Governor, Attorney Edsel Greco Lagman. Pinch hitting for Mr. Greg Halyare, this has been Mariella GLECY SILERIO. Thank you for subscribing.